Hello everyone, welcome to the Linvala Keeper of Silence EDH Deck Tech, brought to you by Angelicomics. It's been about 2 years since my last video that I made for you guys regarding the staples for EDH, artifacts, and lands, and I received a really great response from you about making new videos, and I'm really sorry I haven't been able to do any of them lately. Life just kind of gets in the way. I've been trying to finish college. I'm an English major. I've got about a year left, and so I started a new blog at www.angelicomics.blogspot.com. Angelicomics is spelled Angelicomics. Over there I have a lot of my original work, most of my reviews on comic books, comic book paraphernalia, movies, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about some of my work. But I figured you guys really like Magic, and so I was going to make another video for you. And if you guys have any suggestions for new videos, I would be more than happy to make them for you and just give my opinions on some of the EDH, Magic, just anything that deals with Magic the Gathering. So anyways, let's jump right in here. This is my Linvala Keeper of Silence deck. It hasn't really been changed too much since I went and first created it. This was my first EDH deck, and I created it because my friend was playing Joyra, and the only way I could think about or to get around her devastating ability was to use something that would negate it. So looking at Linvala, Keeper of Silence, she's a really great card. She costs 4, 2 colorless, 2 white. She's a 3/4 flyer, and it says activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated, which really shuts down a lot of EDH generals. The other thing I did with this deck is I tried to make it as close to an angel theme as possible. If it's not obvious, I have a really big thing for angels, and so I kind of wanted to do an angel format. I love the storyline from the Onslaught block regarding Achroma, Angel of Wrath, and Phage, the Untouchable. And so I kind of threw in a few cards that aren't necessarily all that great for EDH, but they go along with the theme. So Linvala in particularly, she's a really great general, but she draws a lot of heat because it's kind of annoying if somebody has a general and they just can't use it. So we have a couple other options. By choosing angels, we have a lot of legend angels that we can use to replace it. So first off, for the creatures, we have Achroma, Angel of Wrath, of course, which I usually swap out for just fun games. Iona, Shield of Myria, a really great card. She's a good general. She shuts down mono decks, monocolor decks, but if you draw, you'll probably draw a lot more heat with her than you would Linvala. Rhea Dawnbringer, another option that's very viable, brings back creatures from the graveyard. We have a Darker Valkyrie, which is anti-board wipe. Makes your opponents not want to play those board wipe spells if you're going to get something back at the end of the turn. Sunblast Angel, a really great angel that has a built-in Wrath effect. Karmic Guide. This card is actually a staple for any white EDH deck in my opinion. Costs 5 for a 2/2 flyer that's pro-black, and it has Echo. But when it comes into play, you can choose a creature from your graveyard and put it right into play. The Echo effect is actually quite good, so you can let her die and use a bring back into play ability to activate her again. And then Baneslayer Angel, a really great angel that overall, the card is just amazing. It's got some protection, lifelink for strike, flying, and it's got pro demons, pro dragons. Really great for its cost. Looking at some of the non-angel creatures, we have Withered Wayfarer, which is a staple in any white EDH deck. Lets you search for any land and put it into your hand just for 1. Stoneforge Mystic, fantastic card that's pretty broken. We are playing lots of artifacts in this deck, a lot of equipment, so she comes into play and you get to search for 1, and it's just pretty amazing. Stonehewer Giant, one of my favorite white cards. I would say this is almost a staple in any of my EDH decks that have equipments. Stonehewer Giant is 5 casting for 4/4. It's got vigilance, and you can pay 2, search your library for an equipment, put it into play, and attach it to a creature. The great thing that I used to do with him is I was running World Slayer in this deck, and so I would have Stonehewer Giant attack with his vigilance, If they did not block, which most of the time they did not, I would pay 2, search my library before damage is dealt, equip World's Lair onto him, and then blow up the field. Usually I would try to equip him with something like a Darksteel Plate, or something to give him indestructibility for that turn, but every turn after that it would be a board wipe on the field, even lands. So, Glory, great card to have. Just if it's in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and give pro color to any creature. Majida the Lion, he's a really great legend as well. He's a viable option. Whenever you can discard 2 cards and basically wrath the field, those creatures can't be regenerated for 4. So he's a constant Wrath of God, pretty much, and he draws some heat, but he's pretty nice to have. We are running lots of Wrath effects in this deck, so. Also talking about Wrath effects, we have False Prophet. When he dies, you remove all creatures from the game. Makes your opponents not want to attack. Serra Ascendant, a staple in any white EDH deck. Comes into play for 1, becomes a 6/6 and lifelink. It's broken. They need to probably ban this card from EDH. Grand Abolisher, it's just a cheap way of taking some heat off of you during your turn so that you don't have to worry about counter spells and whatnot. And Sun Titan. This is my favorite Titan of them all. A lot of people love the green one. Obviously it got banned, but Sun Titan, I have a lot of fun playing with this card, and we've got a lot of 3 casting cost stuff that we can bring back, so he's just a really great combo card. So those are the creatures that we're running. For Planeswalkers, we're just running 1 of each of the Gideons and 1 of each of the Elspeths. There's no particular reason why they're in here other than their reusability for their effects. They do draw some heat, but they're just kind of fun to play with, so no particular reason. You could swap them out for probably 4 more creatures if you felt like the deck was not as creature heavy as you would like. For the instants, we have some spot removal and we have some Wrath effects. We have Path to Exile. We're running Orim's Chant as well, because we are running Isochron Scepter, and putting this on there, it just kind of shuts down the game if you're in a one-on-one battle. We have Condemn, spot removal. Wing Shards. This will get around any destroy target anything that's got pro-white. You can go and get them to sacrifice that creature, because it targets the player. Oblation, well worth giving them 2 cards to get rid of their general forever. You just put it into their library. Swords the Plowshare, another spot removal. Banishing Stroke, another way to get rid of EDH generals. Enlightened Tutor, so that you can search up for an artifact or enchantment. Honor of the Fallen, this card is really great. It does get rid of all the creatures in the graveyard, and you gain 1 life for each of them. Late game, this card is just fantastic. It saved me many a times and brought me back up by about 20 health in massive games. So it's questionable. You can take it out if you feel like you're not playing with as many players. But overall, it's just a really great card. Return to Dust, it's some artifact enchantment removal, spot removal. Second Sunrise. This is a really great card. It's an anti-board wipe, but it also brings back everything your opponents played as well. But if you're careful about it, you can get a lot of the come into play abilities like Sun Titan and Stoneforge Mystic. Graceful Reprieve, another card that you can put on Isochron Scepter. It's just a fantastic card. You just go and say you put back into play a creature that died this turn. So it's really great. Looking at the sorceries, for some of the Wraths, we have Day of Judgment, we have Wrath of God, both staples in any EDH deck. Chroma's Vengeance, more of a story arc card, because it does involve an angel, but it is a board wipe. Final Judgment, removing all creatures from the game. Terminus, putting them all on the bottom of the opponent, or on the bottom of each player's library. Gets rid of generals as well. For some tokens, we have Entreat the Angels, which is more of a themed card, and Decree of Justice. Decree of Justice is the inferior over Entreat the Angels, in my opinion. It's not as good. I don't get it off as much as I would really like, but we are playing with a lot of mana in this deck too, so Steel Shaper's Gift, just to search up those artifacts. Ousted Commander, destroy artifacts, enchantments, creatures, your choice. And Purify, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. In this deck, we are running 10 enchantments. As you can see, we are running a Serra Sanctum, so you can get up to 10 mana with it. We have Planar Collapse, which just kind of sits out there, early board wipe. Serenity, destroys all artifacts and enchantments if it makes it around to your turn one more time. Just another standing board wipe for artifacts and enchantments early on. Ghostly Prison, just to prevent some attacking. Land Tax, another staple for any white EDH deck. Pariah, just a way to take off some of the heat for a while. If your opponent has something indestructible, then it will definitely come in handy. Angelic Renewal, another great combo card with Sun Titan. If any of your creatures dies, you can sacrifice this enchantment and put it back into play. Karmic Justice, anti-destruction on your opponent. Basically, you just destroy their stuff instead. Martyr's Bond, basically it's a Grave Pact for white. Luminarch Ascension, a great way to get some angel tokens into play. It's very theme based. And Oblivion Ring, just to get rid of anything like Planeswalker at instant, or Planeswalkers, pretty much anything that's not land you just get rid of. So also you can bring it back with Sun Titan as well. So real quick with the artifacts, we've got the Shield of Kaldra, the Sword of Kaldra, and the Helm of Kaldra. I really enjoy playing with these cards. It's a great win condition. A lot of combos can be made with that. Sword of Vengeance, this is a Chroma's shield, or sword, I'm sorry. It's just really good to have and equip onto any creature. We have Swiftfoot Boots for protection and haste, and the better version, Lightning Greaves. Sensei's Divine Top, a staple in any EDH deck. It's just very viable, very versatile card. Relic of Progenitus, to get rid of some graveyards. Isochron Scepter, works with so many cards in this deck, so Orm's Chant being the main one. Memory Jar, really great draw card. Mind's Eye, for drawing. Coitus Spike, it's a great card just to go and either equip onto this Stone Hewer Giant and deal half their life. Extraplanar Lens, because we are playing monocolored, this is just an amazing card to double your mana. Claws of Gix, fantastic card, an EDH staple for me, just to sack something if somebody tries to steal it. Niv Disc, just a fantastic card as well, it's just destruction. Spine of Ishsa gets around protection from white. You can destroy any target permanent, and it works with Claws of Gix, and we also have the land in here that it works well with. Grim Monolith, taps for 3. Gilded Lotus, taps for 3. Mana Vault, tapping for 3. Thrawn Dynamo, tapping for 3. Soul Ring, taps for 2, and then a Voltaic Key to untap any of them. As for our non-basic lands, we are running 29 lands in this deck right now. You can change that. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can take out, but we have Serra Sanctum that can tap up to 10 mana. We have a Quicksand, just to destroy small creatures early on. Springjack Pastures, because goats are fun. Mistvale Plains, to put any card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Good use after shuffling, or when you're about to shuffle your deck. Ghost Quarter, just for land destruction. Phyrexia's Core, this works with Spine of Ishsa, and just to destroy any of your artifacts that might draw some heat. Vesuva, not as good as it used to be since they changed the legendary rule, but you can go and create something that's legendary that your opponents control. Mishra's Factory, just a creature land. Gargoyle Castle, just versatile to create a creature. Dust Bowl, to destroy lands. Temple of the False Gods, taps for 2. Mystifying Plains, to stop any attackers. Strip Mine, for land destruction. Ancient Tomb, taps for 2. Reliquary Tower, just because it's nice to have no hand size, and Buried Ruins to get an artifact back. So I do apologize that the videos are kind of quick. I have to speed them up to get under the 15-minute mark for YouTube. But yeah, please check out my my blog at www.angelicomics.blogspot.com. I'll put a link below the video, and I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on my deck. So thanks everyone, have a great day, and have fun playing Magic.